So we reveal our indicators. We got a ton of requests from you guys under our weekly live streams. What indicators do we use? That's why we do a mini YouTube video series about the indicators where we explain them. And if you want to have the same indicators, because they are all custom built from us, just join our group, the Academy. They are free for all members and RefLink users. Academy's local transcript, which is actually pretty simple. It's a mixture of different MA and SMAs within one indicator that give you a specific picture on different time frames, which means that of course the 15-minute time frame has a different configuration than the 4-hour time frame has as configuration, than the daily time frame has as configuration, and the weekly time frame. And why this is, I will cover in this video. Okay, beginning in the weekly, one of the most significant weekly EMAs from my experience is the weekly 50. It does not make sense to use the weekly 200 as many charts, especially in the crypto space, have not that much reference history data, and B, it is so high time frame that's not really respected. But the weekly 50 is on most cases, and also is for me, especially on Bitcoin, the line in the sand between a bull and a bear market. And just to make it visual a bit more appealing and see where we are in the trend and make it a bit more transparent, I added that cloud, which is basically the EMA 13 and the EMA 34, and they have a line between them, which makes up this cloud, which just gives you a very small EMA and a midterm EMA. And this cloud helps me to just determine where we are in the trend. Are we extending back away from the cloud to the top? Does this space here gets bigger, or do we chop back into the cloud ready for the next move higher? And this is actually pretty good support on many time frames, and I use it not only on the weekly here, which has no 200 EMA or SMA. I use it also on the daily. So all per definition high time frame charts, and for me is the 12 hours for me high time frame, so half a day, daily, 3-day, weekly, all high time frame charts have that cloud. So I have just a very near EMA to see some form of a nearer trend line on the candles, which makes it really visually just a bit better recognizable if we are trending or not, or if we are losing a local trend. Okay, then we have the mid-high time frame view here, so not weekly, because there we don't have the 200s, but on the daily, this line here, right, these are the daily 200s SMA and EMA. Why both? Sometimes SMA is respected, sometimes EMA is respected. That makes me use both. So on the major time frame we are, like the daily, I use the daily 200 and the daily SMA, the daily 200 EMA and the daily 200 SMA, also displayed as cloud, as support or resistance cloud here, to determine where we are within a trend, together with that small cloud here. And what is special about this indicator is the weekly 50 is also displayed here on the daily chart. So we have weekly EMAs displayed in the daily chart. Why? As said, the weekly 50 is one of the most important lines in the sand for me on many charts. And I want to see these lines also on the sub time frames, and many indicators can't do this. That's why this indicator here exists. And now if we go deeper from the time frames, 12-hour as said is also high time frame, and now with the 4-hour time frame stuff changes. We have now another color in here, the green, right? And what you notice is the weekly is orange. The main weekly line is orange. The daily, the main line is blue, and we have the orange weekly. And on hourly charts, so not again, not high time frame, hourly, mid time frame, we have now the primary lines here, the primary trend, green. So when I log onto my trading view, I see with one eye, this is an hourly chart. Just because the main line is green, I see the daily blue line here as single line. I only display the daily EMA. I don't need the cloud on sub time frames, but I want to see the daily 200 still, because the daily 200 is also like the weekly 50, a very, very important trend line. I want to see them on all time frames. And then, because of the colors, it is very intuitive for me to know in which time frame I am. So green is hour, blue is dailies, so high time frame, and orange is weekly. And when I go even deeper, hourly, so 1 hourly is still green. And when I go into the minute charts, it changes again, and we see that we have now yellow for the 15-minute trend. So again, with one view of the chart, I know this is a minute chart, and what I see here is the minute daily, the 15-minute 200 SMA and EMA as cloud, as main trend. And I display still the 4-hour EMA, the daily 200, and the weekly 50. Because as said, weekly is important, daily is important, but also what is the most important hourly trend? Probably the 4-hour. And I want to see the 4-hour even on minute charts. And that was it. Minute is yellow, hour is green, daily blue, weekly orange. And you have your EMAs, the most important on all time frames with this indicator. And once you zoom out and the EMA gets farther away from the chart, we add just this mini cloud here as a visual helper to see, here we lose some form of trend, and we don't have to wait until this trend is tested to make moves based on the daily chart.